Tonight there's gonna be a jailbreak somewhere in this town. Probably at jail, Phil, I'd imagine. Suppose we better talk about Wednesday. You know. Wycombe won, Wednesday 0. We'll have a quick look at teams, how they lined up. Wednesday made changes. Dickinson was returned to the fold, which I think everyone's pleased to see. No place for Jack Hunt in the squad. Nathaniel Mendez-Lang came on at right wing back, and Decisive reclaimed his spot in midfield after being rested. Up front, we continued with Gregory and Berahino, which I don't think many people would have argued with that before kick-off. Wycombe lined up with a 4-2-3-1, Stockdale in net, back four McCarthy, Fodin, Fodino, I might have missed an O off. Ah well, not that bad. Taffazoli, Jacobson, midfield Scowen and Gape. I'd never heard of Gape, I googled him, and here's a quick warning to you. Do not Google Gape and click on images. Cleary, Hogan, Abita and Big Sam Vokes up front. Decent opening from Wednesday. I thought they were alright, thought we had a go at them. Obviously they're doing usual stunts, putting the ball out to play, even at first 5 minutes of bloody game, putting it into the stand. I thought Wednesday were having a go at it. Decisive come into midfield. Again, a common sense decision. I thought he played well in his previous game before he was rested. Obviously Ramadanic can take it out of you. And I thought he would probably our brightest player in the first half, using his strength, physicality, getting forward. He was involved in a nice move with Mendez-Lang, and Lang just puts one just up at bar. And I thought Wednesday looked okay, I really did. Dunkley got spun at one point, and he was having to pull a bit of shirt, got him sent in book, but 30 seconds later, their lad did the same, possibly worse, no booking. The inconsistencies with referees in this division is absolutely unbelievable. Which brings me to the disallowed goal. Now I am a bit of a sado, so I've got that clip of that goal. I've cut it, I've downloaded it into my computer, and then I've played it back about 200 times at half speed and quarter speed, and I still can't see what he's blown for there. I cannot see it. I'll tell you what I can see. I can see a kid nearly ragging Gregory's arm out at socket like a Wookie. I can see Story having his shirt nearly torn off his back. I can see a kid get Dunkley in an headlock and throw him backwards onto the floor like all in bloody WWE wrestling. And I can see their goalkeeper stood there and fall on the floor because he's got his own defender in front of him, and Luongo's just stood there and then start having an hissy fit like a kid in the schoolyard. And then I can see referee looking at all that, 3 fouls, one of them an absolute nailed on penalty, and he decides to give free kick all the way. I've got no idea, even now, what he's seen, and I genuinely think these are huge games, massive games, that they can make difference between an entire 6 months, 7 months out of somebody's life, people's livelihoods they play with. I'd love him to come out and say, well, I give it for that. But they don't, do they? They're unquestionable. They don't have to answer these questions. I'd love to know what he's give that for. In fact, I'd love to have the footage playing on one side of the screen and his mug on the other side of the screen and talk us through what he's give it for. Absolute farce. He's got to give a goal or a penalty. Farce. And that changes game. This was always going to be a tough game, a tight game. Horrible side, big side, we know what they're going to do. Little turning points in games. I said it in every video this season. Games hinge on these little moments. That's the turning point in that game. And he has completely and utterly got it wrong. Now I've heard he's actually a championship referee. I don't know how. Maybe he's been relegated to this as a punishment for making shit decisions in championship and all. Breathe. There's a few chances, but it's a scrappy game. Wednesday are on top for me, and it's just we can't quite get that opportunity. I think Gregory has one that goes wide. There's the Mendes Lang shot that goes over the bar. Derbyshire who drives on. The reason Mendes Lang is in the team to drive on in games where both teams have got to win and there might be a bit of space. There's a great example of it. They're attacking. There's a break. He gets the ball. He must travel 60 yards up the pitch. That's what he's in there for. That's when you look at it and think, yeah, that's an understandable change. You can see why that's happened. Sadly, second half, not enough of that. In fact, second half, him and Johnson who were quiet. I think it looked like it were catching up with Johnson a bit yesterday for me. They were almost playing as full-backs at times, and it was because of the threat of that big diagonal ball. Looking for Vokes' header, little head out to the side, you've got McCleary on one side, a beating on over, pushing on, and it pushes you back. I didn't think they were any great shakes. I thought we had the first half. We had been creating too many clear-cut chances, more half chances, and where people just fashioned a little bit of something for themselves. And second half were just a scrap, which we knew it were going to be, and it's up to you to then try and break them down. But it's small turning points. When we were on top in that game, we scored that goal. It's choked off for absolutely zero reason, and it annoys you, because I think if we'd scored that goal, they've got to come at us even more. Then they've got to be a bit more expansive, and then I think we can punish them again. And I think the changes we made to the team were for that. Dunkley, I thought he had a very good game. There were a few quiet performances. I thought Mendes Lang faded second half. I thought Johnson were quiet. Derbyshire, really good first half, really bright, barging people about, using his shoulders. He's got upper body strength. Second half faded. Probably the second time in 2 games I thought Baz has looked a bit tired. But if you look at the energy that he uses in games, and he's played every game this season, it looks like that might be just catching a little bit. It's almost a shame we've got a midweek game. If it could have been Saturday, I think that might have suited us a bit better. I know people thought they're super athletes, but I thought Dunkley were really good. I thought he did the job he was in there to do. He's in there to get in and win headers, and he won headers all day. Apart from the only one he didn't win, they scored. Their goal, good. It's the first time Dunkley really loses an aerial battle all afternoon, which is just typical at sort of look that we're having. And it's from our throw. Hutchinson takes it, goes down the line, nobody gets on end, and their kid, like they were doing most afternoon, it's just a little half clearance, half hook ball over. Vokes wins flick. Hutchinson's a bit slacking getting in off line. He's taken throw in, and he's like sort of, he don't throw it and sort of get right back in on pitch and in his position. He sort of, and he'll know that he's a quality player. He'll know that. So he's a bit slow getting back in. It's just a hook ball, wins header, and as I said before, that was their plan this afternoon. Get it in high, little flick out to either side, and in the end it's a square ball, and it bloody kills us really. And then it's usual, ball it back, it stands, rolling about on the floor. And now it leaves us all to do at Fleetwood really now. But at least it's still in our hands. Yes, I know there's some other big games this week, but it's in our hands. Win last 2, we've done it. It's time. Forget about them, focus on Ascends. That said, we'll just have a quick look at other fixtures this Tuesday. Wednesday, obviously travelling to Fleetwood, 20th place. They'll be scrapping for their lives. That's going to be a really tough game day for Wednesday. Could work out in our favour though, because they are scrapping for their lives. They want a result. They want to try and stay up. They're down there in 20th. They've got to go for it. They've got to go for win as much as we have, and it suits Wednesday more when a team comes out to play. So I'm hoping that that's the case, and that Fleetwood side don't think, well, we'll sit in and take a point. We'll try and take a point at home. Their fans will want them to get that win and secure that safety, and so hopefully that'll play into Wednesday's hands a bit. 9th place Portsmouth, not to play for really other than pride. 1st place Wigan. Now Wigan are top, but they can still be caught by Rotherham. How much effort will they put into this? I think they'll want to try and do title, so I think they're going to go for it. The other game is Sunderland against Rotherham. That is a massive game. Rotherham can still take the title if Wigan slip up against Portsmouth, but they also need to win. Paul Warner and his lads will know that if they lose, the MK Dons can overtake them and take that second spot and push Rotherham down into playoff positions. Sunderland themselves, they're one of 4 teams, including Wednesday, Wycombe, Plymouth, fighting it out for one of the 3 remaining playoff spaces, because obviously MK Dons are already guaranteed a spot. We'll have a quick look at the table, you'll see what I mean. So here we go, like I said, MK Dons guaranteed a playoff position now, but can still get second place from Rotherham if Rotherham don't get the result against Sunderland. Sunderland can consolidate that position and with a win, get their name in the hat. Then it's Wednesday, Plymouth and Wycombe looking for that other spot. One of them is going to be very, very unlucky. Hopefully not us. Hopefully not us. We've got to get that win against bloody Fleetwood, because I don't want us going into the last game needing to get it against Portsmouth. Why don't I want me to, Wednesday to go into the last game needing a result against Portsmouth? Because football's got this funny way, hasn't it, of aligning the stars for certain things to happen. When you look back all that George Hurst saga that there was, I mean, we don't have a lot of luck, do we? Look at that bleeding goal with that bent referee. We don't have a lot of luck. You could see it, couldn't you? Cop End, Hillsborough, 90th minute, Hurst to stop Wednesday getting into playoff spots. I'm not sure if I could cope. And listen, I'm quite down to it, I'm quite calm about things. Some people, they'll be topping themselves, they'll be chucking themselves off Cop Roof if that were to happen, so vital that we don't go. For me, I know it's exciting, last game of the season, we could seal it, and if we do, God, celebrations would be balmy, went down to the wire, we'll look back on it for years to come. Some people say exciting, I'm saying I can do without that sort of drama. Let's just win at bloody Fleetwood and have it at that. Do you know what I mean? God, that's Tuesday. Better do a bloody preview and all. Right, I'm going to go and have an egg on toast and a cup of tea, and then I'll try and do a preview. This camera still don't like light shining off my bald head, does it? Like I said, put a bit of foundation on top of your head, like they don't tell you. You know. Right, egg on toast, cup of tea, and I'll see you for me Fleetwood. We've got a bloody win.